Imagine waking up one day and realizing you can see without eyes, move objects with your mind, or survive freezing temperatures that should kill a normal person in seconds. Sounds like something out of a Marvel movie, right? Well, guess what? These aren't fiction. These are real people with real-life superpowers that science still struggles to explain. From human batteries to men who never sleep, this story will take you deep into the bizarre and unexplained corners of the human mind and body. Buckle up, because by the end of this video, you'll be questioning everything you thought was humanly possible. The man who hasn't slept since 1973. Let's start with a man who defies every known law of biology. Somewhere in Vietnam, there's a man named Thai Ngoc, but most people know him as the man who hasn't slept in over 60 years. That's right, ever since 1973, Thai Ngoc claims he hasn't had a wink of sleep. You'd think anyone deprived of sleep for that long would drop dead, or at least go insane. But here's the crazy part: not only is he still alive, but he's healthy, active, and mentally sharp. Doctors have examined him and found no signs of insomnia-related illness. His brain scans look normal. His blood work? Totally fine. No one can figure out how he's functioning. Some believe he has an ultra-rare genetic mutation. Others say his body has found a way to regenerate while awake. But the truth? Nobody knows. Imagine the productivity if we didn't need sleep. The man who can laugh at hypothermia, Wim Hof, is a Dutch man who can do the unthinkable. He climbs freezing mountains in nothing but shorts, sits in ice baths for hours, and runs marathons in the Arctic barefoot. Scientists have dunked him in ice water and expected him to go into hypothermia. He didn't. His core body temperature remained stable, and his heart rate stayed normal. How? Wim claims it's all due to a breathing method he developed, now called the Wim Hof method, that allows him to control his immune and autonomic nervous systems. But even when other people try his technique, they don't get the same results. Some researchers suggest his brain chemistry is different. Others think he's just built differently. Either way, he breaks every rule of human survival in the cold. A woman who remembers every day of her life. Now picture a woman who remembers every single detail of her life, every single day. Meet Jill Price. She's one of the first documented people with hyperthymesia, a super rare condition where she can recall every day of her life in perfect detail, as if watching it on a screen. Ask her what happened on March 7, 1985. She'll tell you the weather, what she wore, what she had for lunch, and the news headlines. Scientists studied her brain and found that the areas related to memory were larger and more active. But they still couldn't explain how it's possible. Even stranger, people with hyperthymesia aren't necessarily smarter. They just remember everything. It's like a hard drive that never forgets, terrifying and amazing. The holy man who doesn't eat or drink. Let's jump to India, where a holy man stunned scientists when he claimed he hadn't eaten or drunk anything in decades. Prahlad Yani, also known as Mataji, lived in a cave and said that a goddess gave him the power to survive without food or water. Sounds like nonsense, right? So doctors locked him in a hospital room, monitored him 24/7, and waited. Days went by. No food. No water. No bathroom breaks. And he was perfectly fine. No signs of dehydration. No muscle breakdown. Blood sugar levels stayed stable. After 2 weeks, they had no explanation and had to let him go. While skeptics say maybe he cheated somehow, the medical team insists it was airtight. How could a human survive without sustenance for that long? Science is still scratching its head. The human magnet that baffles physics. Ever heard of a man who can literally magnetize objects to his skin? No, he's not a mutant. But Liu Tho Lin from Malaysia was dubbed the Magnetic Man. He could stick metal items, spoons, plates, even bricks, to his body, and they wouldn't fall. At first, people thought he was using glue. But tests revealed a different story. His skin has a higher than average level of friction and suction, allowing things to stick abnormally well. But here's the twist: this effect works even with non-metal objects. So magnets have nothing to do with it. No one else in his family has this power, and he never trained for it. It's just there. A bizarre physical anomaly no one can fully explain. The man who sees numbers as colors. Time for a tale straight out of superhero lore. Meet Daniel Tammet, the man with a brain unlike any other. He's a savant with extraordinary mental abilities. Daniel can recite pi to 22,514 digits, learn a new language in a week, and perform complex calculations faster than a computer. But here's the kicker, he doesn't see numbers as digits. He sees them as colors, textures, and shapes. It's called synesthesia, but in Daniel's case, it's supercharged. His brain makes connections between numbers and senses in a way that gives him almost supernatural computational powers. Scientists studied his brain and found it operates differently from both neurotypical and autistic brains. But they still don't know how he processes information so rapidly. It's like his mind rewired itself for superintelligence. The man who powers light bulbs with his body. Now let's travel to Serbia to meet a man who can literally conduct electricity through his body. Slavica Pojkic, also known as Battery Man, can touch live wires without being shocked, power light bulbs through his skin, and even cook sausages by conducting electricity through his hands. Doctors tested his skin and found it has a much higher resistance to electricity than a normal human. How much higher? Over 20 times more. That means the current flows around him rather than through him, making him immune to shocks. But here's the wild part, his body can also store electricity like a capacitor. He can absorb volts, then discharge them at will. Try that at home and you're fried. But for him? It's just another Tuesday. The woman who literally can't feel pain. Let's not forget about the woman with superhuman strength. In Canada, a woman named Debbie had a condition that prevented her from feeling pain. But it wasn't just about numbness, her body also healed rapidly, never felt anxiety, and could withstand injuries that would cripple most people. When doctors studied her genes, they discovered a previously unknown mutation affecting the FAAH gene, responsible for pain and mood regulation. It's like her body hacked the human system for pain and stress. No pain, no fear, no depression, almost like a real-life Wolverine. Scientists now study her DNA to develop painkillers and treatments, but no one else has been found with the same total immunity. The kids who see in total darkness get ready for a freaky twist. Imagine being able to see in total darkness without night vision goggles. A group of kids from Thailand, often called the night vision children, seem to have that exact ability. Their eyes reflect light like animals, and they can read, write, and hunt in pitch black. Scientists who examined them found that their retinas had more rod cells than normal humans, but that still didn't fully explain the ability. It's almost as if they evolved to survive in darkness. And get this, when they move to places with more light pollution, their night vision fades. Some researchers think it's a genetic adaptation. Others think it's a neurological condition. Either way, these kids may be a glimpse of future evolution. The blind boy who navigated like a bat. And now for one of the most insane real-life powers. Meet Ben Underwood, the boy who could see using sound. After losing both eyes to cancer as a toddler, Ben developed a technique called echolocation. That's right, like a bat. He made clicking noises with his tongue and listened for echoes to locate objects around him. He could ride a bike, play basketball, and even navigate busy streets, all without eyes. His brain had rewired itself to interpret sound into spatial vision. Scientists were stunned. Brain scans showed that his auditory cortex was lighting up in the same areas used for sight in normal people. Ben became living proof that the brain can adapt in miraculous ways, doing things we thought were biologically impossible. So what do these people have in common? They challenge everything we think we know about human limits. They force science to go back to the drawing board. And they show us that the line between fiction and reality might be thinner than we think. Whether it's immunity to electricity, the power to survive without food, or the ability to see without eyes, these real-life superhumans remind us that our species is still evolving, still mutating, and still full of surprises. Think about it. What if we're just scratching the surface of human potential? What if there are more of these abilities out there, hidden in the noise of everyday life? Maybe your weird uncle who never sleeps is actually a genetic outlier. Maybe that one kid who always catches a ball without looking has echolocation. The truth is, science still can't explain everything, and maybe it never will. If this blew your mind even half as much as it blew ours, hit that like button and share this with a friend who won't believe it. And hey, who knows? You might be the next real-life superhero, just waiting for your power to kick in. Until then, Stay curious, stay weird, and we'll catch you in the next one.